Reaching you live from iBrand News Studio in Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up, Senate passes bill to abolish dichotomy between first degree and higher national diploma. Police apprehend 81 suspects for production of locally made arms and ammunition. Association of Bureau de Change operators make move to ban hawking of foreign exchange. 33 migrants from Africa drowned in the shipwreck of Tunisia. Many thanks for joining us on News Now. Here are the big stories we are tracking at this hour. My name is Margaret. We'll start with the Nigerian Senate bill passed for an act to abolish and prohibit dichotomy and discrimination between first degree and the higher national diploma in the same profession in Nigeria. The bill, which seeks to end wage disparity and discrimination against HND holders in both public and private establishments, was sequel to the consideration of a report by the Joint Committee on Establishment and Public Service, Masters and Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund. Chairman of the Joint Committee, Senator Ibrahim Shekaru, says the punishment of the existing dichotomy between HND holders and graduates of universities would meet the huge manpower needs of the country. Now, the Nigerian Army says the troops of Operation HADIN have on Wednesday inflicted heavy casualty on Islamic State West African province ISWAP terrorists. The Army also claims that more than 50 of the terrorists died in the encounter in Dambwa, BORNO State. The Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Mohammed Yerima, said in a statement the operation was carried out in conjunction with air components of the Operation HADIN. Yerima explained the terrorists launched a futile attack on the town in multiple waves with armored personnel carriers and 12 gun trucks, all mounted with anti-aircraft guns, as well as locally fabricated armored-plated vehicles loaded with explosives and motorcycles. According to him, the troops successfully destroyed the locally fabricated armored-plated vehicles and neutralized more than 50 ISWAP terrorists. Now, the police force public relations officer Frank Mba, while giving updates of police operations in the last 2 months, says over 9,000 live ammunition, 45 assaulted firearms, 20 locally made AK-47, among other dangerous weapons, were recovered from the criminal syndicate.
A chain drive, and it is used usually for Jeep engines. This particular chain drive has got a capacity to hold about 1,600 live ammunition. And he also has that capacity to drive it through. Yes. Detectives has followed up this man for a while. He has been in the business of supplying weapons to different kidnapping syndicates, bandits, and other criminals, not just in Nigeria but across the Sahel. We want to say clearly here that the security ecosystem in Nigeria is currently challenged. We are conscious of this, but these challenges will bring out the best in our men and women. These challenges will bring out the best in members of our armed forces. These challenges will bring out the best in members of the intelligence and other law enforcement communities.
Now, the new Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, on Wednesday said the war against banditry and terrorism cannot be won alone except with the cooperation of the other arms of the armed forces of Nigeria. He added that the earlier this is recognized, the better for the armed forces and the nation to surmount the current security challenges. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, Edward Babgets, quoted Yahaya as saying this when he paid a courtesy visit to the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amal at the Nigerian Air Force headquarters in Abuja. He also quoted as saying that Nigerian Air Force was crucial to the success of the ongoing fight against insurgency and banditry and other forms of criminality in the country. Major General Ayahai, who assured Nigerians of victory, further emphasized the war against insurgency and armed banditry cannot be won by a single service, but rather through a synergistic approach. Meanwhile, the governor of Oyo State, Governor Makinde, says his administration will inaugurate a task force to implement the ban on open grazing in the state in the next 6 to 8 weeks. The governor stated this in Ogbomoso during a town hall meeting in commemoration of the 2nd anniversary of the government, adding that open grazing was illegal in the state. A statement by the chief press secretary to the governor, Taiwo Adisa, quoted the governor as also assuring the people that his government would soon create an alternative route to Ibadan Oyo Ogbomoso Expressway, a federal road which he said has been under construction for long. Security expert Olawale Atekoja believed he has found a way to reduce the number of employment scam schemes that has brought harm to many Nigerian unemployed populations. His company, Skelot, launched in early May, has verified over 1,000 addresses for users who had been invited for interviews or other engagements as a social responsibility.
To assist, let me say to solve, because right now we have a lot of insecurities in Nigeria and I don't see one company to solve it. But to support existing security firms, existing security forces, using technology to solve the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. So we have kidnapping cases in Nigeria, we have banditry, we have herdsmen. How can we use technology to reduce this menace in our society that came into existence? Also, we're looking at address verification. Is it possible to see someone, or to have someone's phone number and you actually know where the person stays? So these are many more is what we get to do to have sector. So we are.
Away from that, members of the professional resident doctors at the University College Hospital Ibadan has cried out over non-payment of over 5 months' salaries by the government of occasion by the management failure to enroll each resident doctors on the integrated payroll and personal information system. The workers who are currently on strike made their demands known when they held a peaceful protest at the entrance of the University Teaching Hospital in Ibadan.
Working for at least 120 hours weekly since 2021, and a lot of us have not been paid. At least 4 months of pay to 5 months. There are people here who have not received any salary since 2021.
We are protesting just because of 2 things. Pay us all our salaries from January to date. Migrate us to IPs. Many of us have been in service for over 2 years. And we have been collecting our salary. In fact, some of us were not even aware of the platform with which the salary was being paid. So it shouldn't be any rocket science switching from one platform to the other. So if I've been collecting my salary before, and you say the platform in which I was collecting my salary, you want to change it, there is no need for you to inform me. Just switch. We don't need any mathematics about this thing. Pay us salary from January to May and migrate.
There was tension in the IKORODU area of Lagos State on Wednesday as 8 persons allegedly died in a crash involving a truck which rammed into 4 motorcycles at the Sharif bus stop, IKORODU North Local Government Development Area. Eyewitnesses narrated the crash occurred at around 10 a.m. as the truck that was heading for Odogonya lost control and swerved to the other side of the road, facing oncoming traffic. The truck was said to have rammed into the motorcycles before it was halted by the burglar rods of a nearby filling station. The remains of the victims were evacuated by the officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps at the scene of the accident. 10 persons have been arrested in connection with the recent killings of security operatives and attacks on police facilities in AKWA State. The arrests were made during a series of raids on locations of criminal elements by the Joint Task Force JTF, comprising operative of Nigerian Army, the Police, the Department of State Service DSS, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC. In a statement on Thursday, the Commissioner of Police in AKWA, Andrew Amegweme, noted that the security operative recovered several items including vehicles, armed ammunition, as well as some cash from the suspects. In the recent past, there had been series of senseless and unprovoked attacks on security agency and formations, especially the police, leading to wanton loss of lives and property. The police commissioner appealed to the people to go about their lawful duties without fear of molestation and not relent in being vigilant. The 3 suspected gun runners have been killed with their weapons recovered in a border town in Sokoto State. Confirming the incident on Wednesday via a statement, Army spokesman Brigadier General Mohammed Yerima said the suspects who operated around the Sabo Bini area of the state were neutralized on Tuesday. The operation followed credible information of gun rollers moving weapons on foot from Niger Republic into Nigeria around 11 p.m. The highly vigilant troops mounted a successful ambush along the suspected roads close to Garin Namaimai village and neutralized the 3 gun runners. Items recovered include RPG bombs and RPG charges, machine gun, AK-47 assault rifles, and other accessories, as well as different caliber of assaulted ammunitions. Now, the Niger State government has banned commercial motorcycles from operating in Minna, adding that the ban was a proactive step to protect the city and government seat from bandits. Ahmed Ketso, the deputy governor, disclosed on Wednesday while briefing journalists a week after government abducted 136 pupils from an Islamic school in Dengina. He said the ban on motorcycles, commercial motorcyclists, is a step to avoid an attack. However, private motorcyclists are free to operate from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. End of quote. He also reiterated the state government's commitment to rescuing the school children, noting that negotiations with the abductors were ongoing. Now we'll take a short break now. We'll be back for the African news. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now on the Africa scene, at least 23 migrants from Africa had drowned in the shipwreck of Tunisia as they tried to cross the Mediterranean from Libya to Italy, and 70 were rescued. The Tunisian Red Crescent Humanitarian Organization said on Tuesday more than 120 migrants have died in recent weeks in similar incidents off the Tunisian coast as improved weather has increased the number of trips from Tunisia and Libya towards Italy to reach Europe. In quote, Red Crescent official Mongi Slim said, in quote, the Tunisian Navy rescued 70 migrants as 23 others drowned in a boat carrying more than 90 migrants that set off from Libya towards Europe, told Reuters. The Navy also rescued 39 other migrants who were on another boat that sank off the coast of Sfax. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, says fewer than 23,500 people have made it across the sea to Europe this year, with most new arrivals landing in Italy and Spain from Tunisia and Algeria. Still on the African scene, Egypt aims to vaccinate 40% of its populations against coronavirus by the end of 2021, the Prime Minister said in a televised address on Wednesday. Mustafa Madbouly said by the end of Wednesday, 2.5 million people will have been vaccinated from a total of 6 million people who signed up the government's registration platform. Now the first batch of locally made vaccines will be ready in July, he added. And now on the foreign scene, Sri Lanka on Thursday readied for the possibility of an oil spill after a cargo ship laden with chemicals sank off its western coast. The Singapore-registered MVX Prespel, carrying 1,486 containers, including 25 tons of nitric acid, along with other chemicals and cosmetics, was anchored off the port city of Negombo when the fire erupted on board after an explosion on May the 20th. Flaming containers filled with chemicals tumbled into the sea from the ship's deck as emergency crews sought to contain the blaze over the ensuing 2 weeks. The craft began to sink early on Wednesday, and the salvage crew tried to tow the vessel to deeper water away from the coast, but the attempt was abandoned after the rear of the ship touched the seabed. Now, the ship's operators, Express Feeders, said in a statement on Thursday there were still no signs of a fuel oil spill from the ship and that much of the toxic cargo had been incinerated in the fire. Meanwhile, India announced on Thursday that 134,154 new COVID-19 infections over the past 24 hours, while deaths from the coronavirus rose by 2,887. The country's total COVID-19 caseload now stands at 0.4 million, while total fatalities were at 337,989, according to data from the Health Ministry. In more stories, Taiwan urged China on Thursday to return power to the people and embark on real political reform rather than avoid facing up to the bloody 1989 Tiananmen Square crackdown on pro-democracy demonstrators in Beijing. Friday marks 32 years since Chinese troops opened fire to end the student-led unrest in and around the square. Chinese authorities banned any public commemoration of the event on the mainland. Now, the government has never released a full death toll, but estimates from human rights groups and witnesses range from several hundred to several thousand. The government of democratically ruled and Chinese claimed Taiwan, and a statement on the anniversary eve said Beijing was avoiding an apology over what had happened or reflection on its mistake. Up next is business news. Now, oil prices were higher on Wednesday as negotiations over the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action continued to falter as a rebound in oil demand in China, the United States and Europe threatened to outpace planned increases in supply. The international crude oil benchmark Brent rose by $1.09 to trade at $71.34 per barrel as of 7 p.m. Nigerian time, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate gained at $1.11 to trade at $68.38 per barrel. S&P Global Platts reported that earnings resolution on the JCPOA remained far from certain as the fifth and final rounds of negotiations proceeded in Vienna, putting into question the prospect of increased Iranian oil hitting the market. Telling business, the Central Bank of Nigeria is set to investigate the cotton, textile and garment sector as it plans to increase cotton production, the capacity of granaries and textile companies in the country. This was disclosed by the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele via the Apex Bank Twitter handle during its cotton, textile and garment sector stakeholders engagement. The Apex Bank tweeted, in quote, CBN is on a journey to resuscitate the #CTG sector with a plan to increase cotton production, capacity of granaries and textile companies in the country, attain self-sufficiency in cotton production and create jobs while enhancing the skill of Nigerians across the value chain of cotton production, end of quote. Emefiele explained that the CBN will be working with associations that have repaid at least 70% of their existing loans to cultivate about 80,000 hectares of land with an average input of 120,000 metric tons at 1.5 metric tons per hectare. Now, still in business, the President, APCON Aminu Gwadabe, said this was part of the resolutions made unanimously by BDC directors at the meeting of the operators on Tuesday in Lagos. A copy of the resolution states all operators are to collaborate in bringing down the forex rates in the market. Street trading by BDC should be discouraged, banned, and APCON would commence Operation No Street Trading. that the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) has collaborated with Guinea-Bissau on measures deployed in promoting a stable telecom sector and accelerating digital inclusion in the country. The Executive Vice Chairman NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, shared the Nigerian experience when he received a delegation from Autorade Reguladora ARN, the Telecom National Regulatory Authority of Guinea-Bissau, who were on week-long benchmarking visit to the Commission in Abuja. The delegation was at the Commission to gain insight into NCC's regulatory template as part of an exchange to build stronger bilateral relations with the area of the telecommunications regulations. And according to Dambata, who is also the chairman of the West African Telecommunications Regulatory Assembly, WATRA, the NCC has been recognized by the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, as Africa's foremost regulatory organization and has over the years received regulators from across Africa and beyond, whose mission is to understudy the Commission. And on this note, we call it a wrap on news now. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our social media platform, visit our website, drop a comment for us on the comment section. My name is Margaret Opara.